Dawn had the choice to file the case as a Jane Doe, and she chose not to do that. After giving it a fair amount of thought, she wants accountability. She wants justice.
With this newest lawsuit, this would probably only expedite or increase the amount of allegations and potential witnesses who could testify against Sean Combs.
Sean Diddy Combs, once revered as one of the most influential figures in the entertainment world, now finds himself in a position few could have imagined. The man who built an empire spanning music, fashion, and media, who threw legendary parties attended by the biggest stars, is now locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that has been described as nothing less than a waking nightmare. But what's grabbing the public's attention isn't just the fall of a mogul or the high-profile legal battles he's facing. It's the shocking claims by his defense team that Combs is being subjected to cruel and inhumane treatment behind bars, allegedly to coerce him into revealing explosive secrets about some of the world's most powerful and untouchable figures.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about.
The allegations are almost too extreme to believe. According to his lawyers, Diddy is being held in solitary confinement for most of the day with lights that never dim and noise levels designed to disrupt any attempt at rest. Sleep deprivation, they argue, is just the tip of the iceberg. The environment he's being subjected to is described as relentless psychological warfare, with guards allegedly taunting him and denying him basic privileges. His team has even suggested that the conditions are so unbearable that they amount to a coordinated effort to break him mentally. Why? To force him to hand over what they claim could be the ultimate Pandora's box, years of recorded footage from his infamous parties, which allegedly implicate high-profile celebrities, politicians, and other elites in activities that would shatter public trust in them forever. For those unfamiliar, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has a reputation that would make even the toughest inmates shudder. It's not just a prison, it's a crumbling fortress of chaos, filled with overcrowded cells, unchecked violence, and pervasive neglect. Inmates have described it as a place where fundamental human respect goes to perish. According to reports, the facility is so poorly managed that even federal judges have openly rebuked the conditions there. Some have gone so far as to refuse to send defendants to MDC, calling it a place where people are thrown into a pit of despair with little chance of proper treatment or rehabilitation.
Had clients describe MDC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
The stories coming out of MDC are harrowing. In recent years, accounts have emerged of people being left in freezing conditions during a week-long power outage with no heat, no hot food, and no communication with the outside world. There's talk of rampant violence between inmates, often exacerbated by a severe lack of staff. Guards are said to be both overworked and undertrained, leading to frequent lapses in security. There is even a history of contraband making its way into the prison, allegedly smuggled in by corrupt employees. The facility's medical care has also been heavily criticized, with some inmates reportedly left untreated for serious conditions, adding to the growing demise toll in the institution.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Against this backdrop, Diddy's lawyers have painted a grim picture of his current situation. They claim he's not being treated like a regular pretrial detainee, but rather as someone who poses an existential threat to the system. Their argument is simple. Someone, somewhere, wants Diddy broken. Whether it's through relentless isolation, psychological pressure, or other means, they believe the goal is to make him crack and to extract from him the kind of information that could shake the foundations of Hollywood, politics, and big business.
Because,
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
The basis of these claims rests on the lore surrounding Diddy's once glamorous lifestyle. For years, he was the king of the party scene, hosting lavish events that were as exclusive as they were notorious. These weren't just celebrity get-togethers. They were gatherings where deals were struck, alliances were formed, and allegedly secrets were shared. Some have speculated that Diddy, ever the businessman, made it a point to document these gatherings. Rumors abound that his properties were outfitted with hidden cameras, capturing moments that many of his high-profile guests would rather forget. If such footage exists, the implications are staggering. It would mean that Diddy holds a treasure trove of blackmail material that could implicate some of the most powerful individuals in the world. So, what exactly are these tapes supposed to show, according to whispers in the entertainment industry? They could range from embarrassing personal moments to evidence of actions that would end careers. Or worse. And now, with Diddy behind bars, his lawyer suggests that there's a concerted effort to get him to reveal where these tapes are, who's in them, and what they contain. It's a theory that has only gained traction in recent months, especially as more people come forward with allegations and lawsuits against the once untouchable mogul.
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
But Diddy's lawyers aren't just concerned about the alleged mental and emotional toll being inflicted on their client. They're also pointing to the broader conditions of MDC as evidence that he's being set up to fail. The prison is notorious for its lack of resources, with detainees often going without basic necessities like clean clothing, adequate food, or access to recreation. Reports of violence are commonplace, with inmates frequently left to fend for themselves in an environment that feels more like a battleground than a holding facility. For someone like Diddy, who is used to a life of luxury and control, being thrown into such chaos is more than just a shock to the system. It's a calculated move. His team argues to erode his willpower.
You know, it's still pretty early in the proceedings. I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more importantly,
the public reaction to these claims has been mixed, to say the least. On one hand, there are those who see Diddy's predicament as a long overdue reckoning for a man who has been accused of wielding his power with impunity for decades. On the other hand, there's a growing contingent of people who believe his fall from grace is part of a much larger game being played behind the scenes. To them, Diddy isn't just another celebrity facing the consequences of his actions. He's a pawn in a high-stakes battle involving some of the world's most influential players. This theory isn't new, of course. The idea that Hollywood and the upper echelons of power are controlled by a shadowy group of elites has been circulating for years. But Diddy's case has brought these whispers to the forefront in a way few other scandals have. The allegations against him, combined with the claims of his lawyers, have created a perfect storm of speculation and intrigue. People are asking questions. Who stands to gain from Diddy's downfall? What secrets might he be hiding? And perhaps most importantly, how far would someone go to keep those secrets buried?
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's The Interview, the series where we get in depth with amazing people, and I'm so honored to have this special guest with us here. Precious Muir, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm making sure I center you a little bit more. There we go. So honored to have you here. You have some stories to tell. You've survived the white parties.
Some observers have even drawn comparisons between Diddy's situation and other high-profile cases like that of Jeffrey Epstein. Both men were powerful. Both were connected to influential circles. And both were accused of wielding their influence in deeply troubling ways. And yet, in both cases, there's a sense that what we're seeing on the surface is only a fraction of the story. With Epstein, the world learned about the alleged network of powerful individuals who were said to have visited his properties. With Diddy, some believe we might be on the verge of uncovering a similar network, one that could include names and faces that the public would never expect. For now, though, all we can do is speculate. Diddy's legal team continues to fight for his release, arguing that the conditions at MDC are not only inhumane, but also jeopardizing his ability to mount a proper defense. They've proposed moving him to house arrest, where he would be monitored by private security and cut off from the outside world, except for his lawyers and family. Prosecutors, however, have pushed back, insisting that Diddy represents a flight risk and a potential danger to witnesses. The debate is ongoing, with no resolution in sight.
To not be involved with a famous singer, to not come out, here's the price. And that they're just selling to the individuals that are in those, this is what I heard, they're selling those videos. So if you're Tommy X, and Tommy X is a big movie star, and he was at some of the Diddy parties, he was in one of those bedrooms with 3 other men, and he's happily married to a woman, and blah. Tommy doesn't want that video to come out. He does not want it to come out.
In the meantime, Diddy remains in his cell, a far cry from the opulent lifestyle he once enjoyed. Whether he's guilty of the crimes he's been accused of or the victim of a larger conspiracy, one thing is clear. His story is far from over. And as more details emerge, the line between fact and fiction continues to blur, leaving the public to wonder whether we're witnessing the unraveling of a man or the exposure of something much bigger.
Same thing for Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the interesting thing about the Epstein and the theory about Epstein is we know he filmed people for sure on that island. He has a lot of movies, a lot of films of people that are very, very powerful political figures, and entertainers, business people. So Do you really believe that Jeffrey Epstein himself? And of
course not.
Of course not. Yeah.
The story surrounding Sean Diddy Combs takes a sharp turn into the realm of mystery and intrigue as whispers of conspiracy theories engulf his legal troubles. While his lawyers argue that he's being unfairly targeted and subjected to inhumane conditions in prison, others believe there's a much bigger game at play. Could Diddy's current predicament be about more than the charges against him? Is he being pressured because he pulled secrets that could expose powerful figures operating in the shadows? Let's dive into the swirling theories that suggest Diddy's situation is just the tip of a much larger iceberg. To understand these theories, it's important to revisit Diddy's empire and the unique position he held in the entertainment industry for decades. Diddy wasn't just a music executive or rapper. He was a gatekeeper, a man who navigated multiple worlds, from hip-hop to Hollywood to high society. His infamous parties weren't just about music and fun. They were elite gatherings where celebrities, politicians, and business moguls mingled behind closed doors. These events were often described as private, exclusive, and, according to some, downright secretive. Over the years, rumors have swirled about what really happened at these parties. And now, with Diddy facing legal battles, those rumors are gaining new life.
You're just like, it's there. I mean, it's not just there. It's everywhere. My news feed is dominated by it. Fox News, CNN, everyone. There's raids at Diddy's house.
One of the most persistent theories is that Diddy's parties were more than just extravagant celebrations. They were carefully curated events where powerful people indulged in activities they wouldn't want the public to know about. And here's where things get really interesting. There are whispers that Diddy had a habit of documenting everything. According to multiple sources, his properties were allegedly outfitted with hidden cameras, capturing moments that some of his high-profile guests may want to keep buried forever. This theory suggests that Diddy's downfall isn't just about the accusations against him. He may possess evidence that could implicate some of the most influential people in Hollywood, politics, and beyond.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But do you think it's over as him as far as
jail?
He gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so.
Daniel Baldwin, in a recent interview, hinted at this darker side of Hollywood, calling it a world filled with manipulation, deceit, and secrets. He didn't hold back when discussing the possibility that figures like Diddy may have collected compromising material on their powerful friends and associates. Baldwin's perspective aligns with the growing belief that Diddy's current situation might stem from his knowledge of or possession of explosive information. According to Baldwin, you're not going to survive in that world unless you play by their rules. And if you don't, well, they'll find a way to make you disappear. It's a chilling statement that raises the question, is Diddy being silenced because he knows too much? The connection between Diddy's parties and the broader conspiracy theories surrounding Hollywood's elite has drawn comparisons to other high-profile scandals. The case of Jeffrey Epstein is often brought up in these discussions, as Epstein was also known for hosting exclusive gatherings that allegedly served as fronts for more sinister activities. Like Epstein, Diddy is said to have created an environment where powerful people felt safe enough to let their guard down. If the rumors are true, Diddy's alleged recordings could be a treasure trove of information, documenting everything from private conversations to highly controversial behavior. And if that's the case, it's no wonder some believe that there are forces working behind the scenes to ensure those tapes never see the light of day.
I'll tell you, I don't know how much, I don't like to say things that I know unless I see it. That there's a little difference, but was it discussed? Was there descriptions from people I know that were at those? Yes, but here's another thing. So how many of these big entertainment parties and over the years and everything with successful as you are, have you been around? Does anyone ever come up to you at a certain hour and say, okay, it's time to go? At those parties they did. At a certain time.
But what makes these conspiracy theories even more compelling is the idea that Diddy's alleged recordings aren't just about Hollywood stars. Some speculate that his parties attracted influential figures from the worlds of business, tech, and even politics. The connections between entertainment and politics are well documented, with celebrities often mingling with lawmakers and other officials. If Diddy's parties were indeed attended by such individuals, the implications of what those recordings might reveal are staggering. Could they show private deals being made? Could they expose the personal lives of public figures in ways that would damage their reputations or even careers? These are the questions fueling the theories. These are the questions fueling the theories about why Diddy is being targeted now, after all these years.
People I don't think realized was he had cameras all over the place, unbeknownst to them. And now he has all that footage, supposedly. This is what I'm told. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens if, you're a huge iconic, TV star or movie star, and you're in some very, very...
Who's getting the money, though?
One particularly intriguing aspect of this theory involves the timing of the raids on Diddy's properties. In March, multiple federal agencies conducted searches of his homes in Miami and Los Angeles. Officially, these raids were tied to the ongoing investigations into the accusations against him. But some believe there was another motive. Joe Rogan and comedian Andrew Schultz discussed this possibility on Rogan's podcast, suggesting that the real goal of the raids might have been to recover any incriminating footage Diddy allegedly had. Schultz speculated when the feds rolled up with the Hummers and all that, it wasn't about Diddy. It was about if there were tapes of powerful people there. Rogan, never one to shy away from exploring conspiracies, agreed, saying, "Oh, I'm sure."
I mean, that's what people were saying, and maybe everybody's a conspiracy theorist now, but that's what people are saying about the Diddy situation. Like when the feds rolled up, with the Hummers and shit, they were like, it wasn't about Diddy. It was about if there were tapes of powerful people there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
They were the ones that called. They're like, I need to protect myself, so go in there with all the things and rip any tapes or any evidence.
This theory gains even more traction when you consider reports that Diddy allegedly used hidden cameras not just in his homes, but also at his events. A 2024 lawsuit brought by Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former producer for Diddy, claimed that the mogul had hundreds of cameras installed across his properties. While Jones's allegations focus on other aspects of Diddy's behavior, the mention of these cameras has fueled speculation that the recordings they captured could be central to the broader conspiracy. If such footage exists, it's easy to see why some believe there are powerful people who would go to great lengths to ensure it never becomes public.
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff, they were there to delete everything. Like the real people that were in there,
Oh,
like
that's funny.
With Epstein.
Oh, that's funny.
Then there's the question of who stands to gain from Diddy's downfall. If the conspiracy theories are to be believed, his alleged recordings could expose people at the highest levels of power. This includes not just celebrities, but also executives, politicians, and other influential figures who might have something to hide. Some have suggested that Diddy's legal troubles might even be a coordinated effort to discredit him, ensuring that any revelations he might make are dismissed as the desperate attempts of a man trying to save himself. It's a classic strategy. Attack the credibility of the messenger to protect the message. The idea of Diddy as a fall guy for a larger network of corruption is not without precedent. Hollywood and the entertainment industry have long been accused of operating under a system of gatekeepers, powerful individuals or groups who control access to opportunities and information. Ice Cube has spoken frequently about this concept, calling out the gatekeepers who he believes are trying to hold him back. In a recent interview, he stated, "There are people that make sure you stay in your lane. And if they think you're getting out of your lane, they'll put guardrails around you. Or worse." Cube's comments echo the sentiment that there's a hidden structure within the industry, one that operates behind the scenes to maintain control.
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
But what happens when someone like Diddy steps outside those boundaries? If the conspiracy theories are true, his alleged recordings might have given him leverage over some of the very people who once supported him. And leverage can be a dangerous thing when it threatens to disrupt the status quo. It's this potential for disruption that has fueled speculation about the lengths to which the powerful might go to neutralize Diddy and ensure his silence. Whether through legal battles, public scrutiny, or the alleged conditions he's enduring in prison, some believe that Diddy is being made an example of, a warning to others who might consider challenging the system. Of course, not everyone buys into these theories. Critics argue that Diddy's legal troubles are simply the result of his own actions and that the claims of hidden recordings and broader conspiracies are nothing more than sensationalist distractions. They point out that while Diddy's parties were undoubtedly extravagant, there's no concrete evidence to suggest they were anything more than that. And as for the idea that he's being targeted by powerful figures, skeptics argue that it's just a convenient narrative for someone facing serious allegations.
Diddy is now being sued in addition to what we just talked about by Dawn Richards. You guys will remember her. She was a part of Making the Band.
Dirty Money.
Dirty Money, the Danny Kane era. So basically what she's alleging a lot of different things.
But even as the skeptics dismiss these theories, the questions remain. Why now? Why, after decades of being one of the most untouchable figures in entertainment, is Diddy suddenly at the center of such a dramatic fall from grace? And why are the rumors about his alleged recordings gaining so much traction, despite the lack of concrete evidence? These unanswered questions are what keep the conspiracy theories alive, fueling speculation and debate. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. Sean Diddy Combs is no ordinary defendant. His case is not just a legal battle. It's a cultural moment, a flashpoint that has brought long-standing rumors and fears about Hollywood's dark side into the spotlight. Whether he's a villain, a victim, or something in between, Diddy's story is far from over. And as more details emerge, the world will be watching closely, wondering if this is the beginning of the end for one man or the unraveling of an entire system. So, as Diddy's story continues to unfold, we're left with some pressing questions. Do you think there's truth to the claims that powerful figures are trying to silence him? And if so, what secrets might he be hiding that could shake the foundations of Hollywood and beyond? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more celebrity news and updates. Until next time,